Jamie Nixon here with today's Coach's Corner, and today I am sitting here with Marty Stone of Stone Basketball Development. I've had the opportunity of getting to know Marty here just recently, probably the past 9-10 months. And one of the things, Marty, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Okay.
One of the things that I hear you talk a lot about when you're doing your basketball instruction and your development of players, high school players, middle school players, and even some younger players, you talk about basketball IQ.
Right.
And that really intrigues me because I have my understanding of what I think basketball IQ is.
Right.
But I would love for you to tell everybody what you think about what is your definition of basketball IQ?
Sure. When we go through the mindset of what a basketball IQ is for a player, we really are talking about the general understanding of the game. Do they know all the little nuances of the game? Do they understand little things of the game like help defense? Do they understand angles? Do they understand movement away from the ball? Do they understand how to read and react to defenses and make a decision on the floor? So you have that mindset to where they're almost a coach on the floor as an aspect that you can utilize as a tool in the middle of the game. Most players today, we don't see a lot of basketball IQ. We see a lot of athleticism. We see a lot of skill development, but we don't see that understanding of gameplay and how we used to see it 20 years ago.
And one of the things that I love doing on my first couple of days of practice without a ball, and actually going over the court. And I was amazed how many kids don't know what a baseline is. Foul line extended, top of the key, just the 28-foot mark.
Exactly. That's something that is totally left out when you get into the developmental ages, on the early ages of elementary. A lot of times it's a dad or somebody stepping in as a coach. They try to implement what they're seeing at the University of Kentucky or what they're seeing on the NBA level, and the kids don't even have an understanding of it. The other thing that you get out of that is that there's always that one athlete that's a better athlete for their age. They are maybe more mature for their age. Their skill sets develop for their age. That athlete then becomes the focus of the team. So the other kids are then pretty much told, play defense, get a rebound, get it to this kid, let him do his thing, and that's how we're going to win. So the mindset is always about winning. It's never about really any kind of development. Plus, you really don't have a lot of time to do much development when you're getting to practice, one day a week for an hour when you can get a gym, and then the knowledge kicks in of they don't have a background in maybe playing or coaching, or they were a football guy or a baseball guy. Those kind of aspects have to come into play too. So that's why you see a lot of that.
So, Marty, when we talk about basketball IQ, and we talk about the stages of how it starts off as a younger player up to the middle school level, to the high school level, to the college level, even to the pro level.
Right.
Give me some of your opinions or your perception of players, or better yet, let's talk about certain players who have talked about basketball IQ.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, one that stands out to me is Kobe Bryant. Kobe has come out and made the comment. It took a lot of criticism over it, but he made the comment that he was happy he learned how to play the game in Europe because he understood all the basic principles and fundamentals of basketball. And he also went a step further and said that there's a problem and an issue when a rookie comes in to the NBA and he has to stop from a mentor perspective and teach that guy how to play, how to move without the ball, spacing, all of those little things of the game that they should have known in the 6th grade. So there's a lot of older players have now spoken up about it, how it's affected the game in the long run. And where we are now, I think with some of the teams you see now, you're starting to see a little bit of a rollback to it with Golden State, with Houston. Cleveland's kind of going back that way to where the Spurs, to where they're starting to do a little bit of a combination of that new mentality of the athlete and going into that basketball IQ to where they understand ball movement, and it's not just an individual game and it's one-on-one all the time, and you try to put the 5 best athletes out on the floor that you can and look for a mismatch.
Yeah, in today's game, I have actually noticed at times you can take the number positions out of the way. It doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
5. You can actually put your best 5 athletes out there and say, hey, we're going to challenge you to put your best 5 athletes, and we're going to see who wins a basketball game.
Right.
So getting back to the stages of the game, then what would be some advice that you would give to a recreational basketball coach,
Right.
maybe even an AU basketball coach, maybe even a middle school basketball coach? Because I know that you've had a great opportunity to know a lot of great high school coaches, and a lot
Right.
of those guys send their players to you.
Right.
They understand the development side. But when we're talking about a recreational coach who's volunteering their time,
Right.
they're not getting paid. Most of the time, they are a father.
Sure.
And they make the mistake of focusing maybe on their son.
Mm-hmm.
What's some advice besides telling them to focus on the whole team, but just
Right.
kind of break that down for them?
What I think they missed the boat is that they're focused mainly on wins. So they competitiveness kicks in as a dad or a coach, and you want to win every basketball game. I get it, but you have to focus in on the developmental aspect of it. At that age, teaching them to dribble with their offhand, teaching them to be able to finish a layup on the move, off the run, being able to catch a ball off the run, being able to make a diagonal pass. That's one that just you don't see in elementary games. They dribble down everything as a straight line pass, and they have turnover after turnover. They're not strong enough to make that diagonal pass. Teaching them how to step and meet a pass. All those little bitty things with spacing. It's really a lot of isolation play, and they don't understand the game at a young age, and that carries over to middle school. And now you've got a middle school coach that's trying to teach them things, and they don't have a lot of time. So if that coach is then in turn focused on wins, it carries right up the line to the high school coach. So they lose all of that development time at a young age that they could have learned all of those little bitty things that would have just been instilled in them and just come naturally when they played. Instead, they just go and play off a reaction and what happens, and we just play.
Well, let's get into a question that is a tough question. I know a lot of NBA players have now spoken out about it. I think Kobe even spoke out about it at some point, and that's the health or the status or where AAU basketball is now.
Right.
And before we get into that, because I know that we all have our different opinions on that, and I just want to be clear that there's great AAU programs,
Sure.
and then there's AAU programs where it is more individual athlete. Hey,
Sure.
it's all about what you can do one-on-one. And I've got to watch what I say because Stone Basketball just here in the past year has actually put their big toe into the AAU
Absolutely.
program. And we can let you share a little bit more about what you're going to do with Stone Basketball. But I'm really interested in hearing your answer about what Stone Basketball and AAU, how those come together, and what
Right.
that's going to look like in the future.
Well, with AAU, it's one of those things that I'm not a big fan of AAU. There's really a bad environment involved with AAU, and you see now with some of the things that have happened and the scandals that have happened, people getting paid, coaches that are into it for the wrong reason because it is a big money maker. The aspect of developing the kids and having the kids in mind, that gets lost. That's not part of it. So I have sat back for years, seen players come through our training program, go through AAU programs to where they just kind of get skipped. They fall through the cracks. Coaches are focused on one or two players because that's the exposure. They're focused on the winning of their program and the name of their program. So with us, I decided, it's time for us to step into this, teach these kids how to play the right way, be a mentor to these kids the right way. Teach them aspects of life that's going to make them successful in life because they're not going to play sports their entire life. These things that they learn are going to carry over to their work ethic and their job. How are they going to handle a boss? How are they going to handle an employee, or how are they going to handle a coworker that you have a problem with? So those type of things in life that we feel like we can really help. Now, from the training and development perspective, we really focus on AAU as a development tool. All right, by the time they hit junior and senior status, if they've got the ability to play at the next level, college coaches are going to see that. All right, so that's our goal to get it there. The other years are about player development. So yeah, you want to win. You don't want to teach a player to be a loser. But at the same time, you want to develop those players. It's the opportunity for them to get into a game setting, make a mistake, learn from that mistake, and get better.
North Nashville Hoops is a high-level recreational basketball league where coaches bring their own teams, and they're playing at a higher level competition. And I know that this year you are you're on board on staff there as being the contact for player development.
Correct.
And through that, I know that a lot of those players are eventually going to go and be AAU players,
right?
And to go to AAU teams. So as you're looking at that and you're developing this AAU program, I know that's important that you're seeing all those players as well. But through what you're doing at Stone Basketball and through your involvement with North Nashville Hoops, are you not actually able to see a lot of people that you might have as coaches? Because obviously you can't coach every AAU team.
Exactly. So that is to me that is the most crucial part of having an AAU program, because I personally and physically can't coach every team. I can have influence. I can't travel to every tournament. So you have to have people in place you can trust, You have to have people in place who can handle situations. I have to have someone in place that is not going to go after a referee, or if a parent does something, they have to be able to handle that situation. At the same time, they have to understand the game. They have to understand the philosophy that we have with our program and how we expect our coaches to teach the game, to coach the game, to mentor these kids. There's a lot of little things that go into it that a lot of people don't think about. They just need a coach and they'll throw somebody in there. So we're extremely particular about who is involved in our AAU program. Most of the time it's people that we've known a long time. We know their background. We know them inside and out with their character, which is a big deal. And they don't get involved with our program unless they are a person of high character, high standards.
So if you're a parent out there and you're looking for your son or your daughter to actually be a successful basketball player, one of the best things that you could probably do is look up Stone Basketball Development. And speaking of that, Marty, can you tell us how can they find you?
Sure, they can find us on Facebook through Stone Basketball. You can go to our website at stonebasketball.com. You can also reach me by phone at 615-804-9931. You can text, message us, and we can get you more information about our program, what we have available. We are expanding now to younger players. We used to start in that 5th and 6th grade level. We are expanding to some elementary programs now, so we can get you some information about that.
Well, that's awesome. Marty, I appreciate you being my guest here on Coach's Corner. You guys make sure that you check him out at stonebasketball.com. And once again, Facebook. He's on Facebook, and he also gave you his phone number where you can personally text him and get your child the development in basketball that they need to help them be a successful basketball player, but at the same time be successful in life, because a lot of things that we learn through sports we apply later on in life.
Exactly.
Marty, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Thank you, guys. This has been Coach's Corner.